This email shows how close Sarah Ferguson really was with Epstein. She personally invites him to Prince Andrew's 50th birthday inside St. James's Palace, one of the most secure royal locations in London. It's not a casual dinner. It's suits, cocktail dresses, security checks, and royal staff coordination. Sarah even adds her playful tone, calling it mysterious mischief. The shocking part isn't just the invite, it's that Epstein was being welcomed into royal space like a trusted insider, not someone kept at arm's length.
Okay, hear me out. I literally spent the last 2 days glued to my laptop, 6 hours reading every wild email and news update I could find, so you don't have to. And this story keeps twisting. I'm telling you right now, everything you think you know about Sarah Ferguson and the Epstein files is way messier than headlines make it. So, buckle up. Let's start with what's actually happening right now. And yes, this is hot off the press. Sarah Ferguson's charity, called Sarah's Trust, just announced it's closing for the foreseeable future. And guess what? It's because of these newly released Epstein emails that show tiny details we never saw before. Listen, this isn't some old rumor from 2025 recycled. This is fresh. And honestly, it's giving rock meets completely terrible optics vibes. Here's what everyone has been claiming so far. Sarah Ferguson was once close to convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. Some emails showed she thanked him and at times sounded way too friendly. Lots of media outlets tried to paint that as, oops, she was naive. But wait, that's the soft version. The full vibe is way weirder. Because in these latest leaks, Sarah didn't just say thanks. She called Epstein a legend, brother I always wished for, and I swear told him to just marry me. Could you imagine that text in your messages? No. And listen, that's after Epstein had already been convicted and served jail time for underage solicitation. So yeah, incredibly bad look. Now the press is trying to soften it with this "it happened years ago and she later regretted it" narrative. But the emails themselves don't sound like regret. They sound warm. I'm just saying, if someone in your phone said legend plus marry me to a sex offender after he got out of jail, you'd screenshot it and delete them. Okay, let's break this part down because this is where it gets really messy.
In this email, Sarah Ferguson thanks Epstein for helping revive her entire brand. After one lunch with him, she suddenly has deals lining up with Target, Tommy Hilfiger, QVC, NBC, Ryan Seacrest, and major producers. She credits Epstein for lifting her energy and even thanks him for complimenting her in front of her daughters. Then she calls him the brother I always wished for. This shows Epstein wasn't just a contact, he was positioned as a power connector, shaping her business future behind the scenes.
Many news outlets are saying the charity shutdown was under discussion for months, but the timing? Super sus. The only reason everyone's talking about all this again is because the DOJ just released millions of pages of Epstein materials, and new emails keep popping up about Ferguson. Let me read a few to you. One email from 2010 said, "You are a legend. I am at your service. Just marry me." And there's even another crude mention about her daughter's weekend trip in one message. Yeah, the tone of some lines is just super weird. And this is what gets me, because the charity Sarah started was legit doing real humanitarian work. We're talking food aid, medical training, education projects, the whole thing. It's not some small Instagram charity, it's real. But, now everybody's too embarrassed to be associated. So charities are backing off, sponsors are ghosting, and now the whole charity is shutting down? That's the part where I'm like, wait a minute. Here's the biggest contradiction, and stay with me. If these emails were so obviously going to blow up everyone's reputation, why did Sarah ever send them in the first place? I mean, you don't go around calling someone a legend and inviting them for tea at Buckingham Palace if you don't think they look cool, right? And then later act like you regret it. Like, in my honest opinion, I think the "oops, I screwed up" cover story started because once the emails hit public eye, everyone freaked out about optics. But before that, she wasn't exactly hiding the tone. You see what I'm saying?
Witness accounts say Sarah Ferguson visited Epstein's private island with her then-boyfriend, who was close to Epstein. She reportedly took photos, made albums, and treated the trips casually, showing familiarity, not distance.
Please hit the subscribe button so I can keep making these videos. Okay, so where we left off, I was sitting there like, why send those emails at all and then act shocked when the internet drags you later? And then I noticed something that honestly made me stop scrolling and just stare at my screen. Hold on, let me pull this up again. Yeah, right here. So while Sarah Ferguson is publicly doing the whole "I regret everything, terrible mistake, I was misled" routine, behind the scenes, she's still emailing Epstein like he's her emotional support billionaire. I'm not exaggerating. She's asking him for money. She's asking him for advice. She's asking him for favors. At one point, she literally says she needs £20,000 for rent today because the landlord might go to the newspapers. And I'm sitting there like, bestie, that is not "oops, I met the wrong guy once." That's a relationship. Correct me if I'm wrong, but when you truly regret someone, you don't keep texting them like they're your bank, therapist, and hype man all in one. You block and ghost them. You pretend they don't exist. You don't say, "You're a legend, marry me." So already, my gut is like, something's off. And then enter the daughters. Now, let's talk about the part nobody really wants to say out loud. Beatrice and Eugenie. Because everyone online keeps acting like the daughters are just innocent spectators in this mess. But are they? Eugenie, from what I've seen, has basically gone cold on Andrew, like distance, silence, polite exile vibes. And honestly, I get it. If your dad's name is glued to Epstein forever, at some point you're like, I can't carry this. But Beatrice? She's doing the opposite. She's still trying to play peacemaker, still visiting, still staying neutral, still protecting both parents. And Eugenie's allegedly like, girl, wake up. And I don't blame her, because here's what I keep thinking, and tell me if I'm crazy. If your family keeps dragging you into PR disasters, when do you stop defending and start surviving? Like, if this was your mom texting a convicted sex offender, "Marry me," would you keep pretending everything's fine? I wouldn't. I'd change my number. The real smoking gun. Now here's the part that actually made my eyebrows hit my hairline. Everyone keeps framing Sarah as someone who got financially trapped by Epstein. But when I was bouncing between articles and old clips, what stood out wasn't fear, it was comfort. She wasn't talking to him like a scary guy she messed up with. She was talking to him like someone she trusted. She literally offered him VIP-style access around royal spaces, tea, tours, introductions, birthday invites. That's not survival behavior. That's networking behavior. And personally, I think that's the lie hiding in plain sight. The media wants it to look like she was naive, desperate, and was embarrassed. But what it actually looks like to me is she didn't think Epstein was radioactive back then and thought he was useful. And the regret only kicked in when the internet saw the receipts. And listen, you know she's evil. You don't apologize until the camera's on. Be honest with me. You've done that too, haven't you? In my honest opinion, Sarah Ferguson isn't being canceled because of one email. She's being dragged because the pattern is ugly. It's the combo: money requests, flirty praise, access offers, public denial, private apology. Then surprise when people go, wait, what? That's not a mistake. That's a strategy that aged badly. And I feel like the charity shutting down is the loudest signal of that. Because charities don't die from gossip. They die when nobody wants their name near yours anymore. It's reputation smoke damage. Okay, now let me make my messy little prediction. I think 2026 is going to be the year the royal distance era gets real. Less protecting, more separating, more quiet exits. I think Beatrice eventually steps back too. I think Eugenie stays icy, and I think Sarah either disappears into low-profile business stuff or tries one last comeback with a book, podcast, something risky. Because when money pressure hits, silence gets expensive. And history says people talk when they're cornered. All right, now I want to hear from you. Am I overthinking this, or does the whole legend, marry me, can you pay my rent vibe feel sketchy to you too? If you were Beatrice or Eugenie, would you cut your parents off or keep playing peacekeeper? Tell me in the comments. I'm literally down there reading everything like a gremlin. Like, subscribe, send this to your group chat friend who lives for royal mess. And yeah, let me know. Bye.